What's up, guys? Keyshawn Ochia here, back at you with another part to an alternate universe What If. Now, this will be part 2 of What If Deku was the motherfucking Doomslayer guy. Now, due to y'all guys asking for a part 2 and stuff, and I have been really doing uploads and stuff, and I promised y'all like 5 videos and stuff, but I just really don't have the energy and stuff like that anymore. And I'm sorry that I haven't been really posting videos like every day, and I regularly just be posting like 3 days or like probably like 5 or 6 or probably a year. So I'm sorry if I haven't been posting videos like that. I promise I will try my best to be on this schedule to post videos because I have nothing to do, but I've been lazy to post videos. So I will be try to post videos now and so often. But today I'm going to be posting maybe 2 videos, hopefully. What if? But these will be the 2 what ifs. What if Deku was the Doomslayer, and probably another what if of what if Deku this was the only male in My Hero Academia. Now that one and this one today. Hopefully I can get these 2 videos done. But this will be the first video, and we're just gonna do a quick recap, and then we're gonna continue with the story. So what we pretty much last left off, Deku was pretty much in hell. You could say fighting a bunch of demons, old ones too, and stuff, and mostly trying to figure out a way to get out of hell. As he's been trying to figure out the way to hell, this is where he mostly gained abilities from demons and stuff like flight, strength, and sensory by summoning on demons of hellhounds using sense with his hellhound can be connected to him by some way somehow. Also by flying or sensory and echo hearing, and also just been getting stronger by gaining demon blood and stuff and all that, and also been collecting weapons along the way. Now, this is where he found out he can find these charger crystals, or you could say fusion things, power things that he can power up the portal that's in hell, which pretty much left, which no demons don't know how to work it except for Deku, and he been collecting fusion cores, which he got enough. But before he went, he pretty much, we all know what happened. Pretty much smashed the, you could say had sex with succubus. Pretty much, tapping that, and pretty much getting to the portal and getting going. Now, this is where, as he left, this is where female Lucifer wanted to pretty much have Deku to herself. More like you could say as a, to have as king for help, because he slayed many old ones and he been noticed and been talked around the whole hell realm as the Doomslayer guy, the man who's too angry to die, the guy who's furious enough to just by him noticing will be ripped into shreds by in gruesome ways, which that's where female Lucifer has her king to him, or you could say her cherry popping coming. Now, as you could say, Deku get back to the other dimension, to his homeworld, he pretty much told scientists whatever. Told him about what hell is like and stuff, and pretty much went home to get some rest. As he's getting some rest, this is where Succubus followed him and told him that she pretty much went to the portal, and now Deku's thinking that there's other demons in the portal. That got through the portal and trying to figure out what other demons got to the portal. Now, that's the quick recap. Let's get to the new parts, and let's not keep y'all waiting. Now, let's go. Now, pretty much, Deku pretty much wakes up the next day with the succubus pretty much laying beside him, which Inko pretty much knocks, so pretty much open up the door to wake up Deku, which Deku is pretty much with no shirt on, pretty much getting up with his muscles and ripped and stuff, and has a couple of scars. And the succubus is pretty much waking up to saying who who opened up the door and turned on the lights, which this is where Inko is pretty much freaking out, saying who the hell is she, which Deku is pretty much explaining to his mom, saying this is succubus while I was in hell, pretty much I, you could say, had sex with, which Deku's not afraid to say anything, and we'll just say it straight through because, like I said, it's Deku. He's the motherfucking Doom guy, you could say. Now the new guy. Now this is where Inko is pretty much shocked and saying, and you had no protection, which Deku saying, protection? I was in hell, Mom. It's not like she can get pregnant or anything, which the succubus is pretty much saying I wouldn't say something about that, which Deku's saying, are you pregnant? Which she's pretty much looking away, which he's saying, whatever. I pretty much get up and begins to get dressed. Now, Inko is pretty much, downstairs. Pretty much meets Deku downstairs where Deku's eating and stuff. And she's pretty much saying, asking what he's going to do, which Deku's pretty much saying that he's pretty much just going to go around the neighborhood and go around the stores and stuff and pretty much, look around and see if anything's different, which Inko says okay and be safe, which Deku said he will. Now, as he's going, this is where the succubus asks what's she supposed to do, which Deku pretty much says do whatever the hell you want. He's just gonna do what he wanna do. Now, this is where the succubus says you're no fun, which Deku says I'm not fun at all. Now, as Deku's going, he's pretty much looking around the neighborhood stuff, and he's pretty much looking around and stuff. And this is where he sense a presence. Well, demon scent, you could say, as he sensed demon prince, as it's kind of a thing. As how can I say this? As Deku was in hell, he ate things, not human flesh, but more like demon flesh, as there was no other animals, and if there was other animals in hell, the animals was like the skulls and stuff. But he pretty much ate demons in hell. He ate demons in hell. So when you eat a demon flesh in hell, you kind of become a hungry cannibal to eat demons. I mean, you can eat other food, but you'll most likely want to keep eating demon flesh. So that's what Deku ate in hell. So he sensed like demon, blood, and his teeth begins to, you could say, get sharp, and he begins to say, "There's a demon here." Now, this is where uh, Deku summons his hellhound and pretty much tells his hellhound to go sniff it out. Which, when Deku summons like any of his, you could say, demon pets thing, we're gonna say he's like connected to him, kind of like the virus thing of the Black Lake virus, but a little bit like that, as his senses getting heightened up when he summons them, like hearing or like echoing, he can pretty much heighten them up. Now he's pretty much running and looking for the demon, and this is where he pretty much goes. We're gonna say goes a little bit into the forest district, where the forest area where it's like out of town. So, and he's pretty much going there. Now, as he's going there, he pretty much looks around and he sees, we're gonna say, some demons, and we're gonna see and this is where he sees a portal. Now, this portal is a kind of a ripping portal. He's pretty much saying, "Huh." So look like I was correct. The demons did come out the portal, which they're pretty much roaring at him and stuff. But this is where he puts on his armor and stuff, and he pretty much puts on his helmet, and you could say some of his shotgun, and he loads it up and says, "Shall we get started then?" And this is where the demons starts to realize, oh shit, it's the Doomslayer, and they begins to try to run back to the portal. But this is where Deku runs in. He gets out his chainsaw, his claw chainsaw from his arm, and pretty much stabs one of the demons and starts to rip it apart. Which the other demons are trying to go back to the portal, which the portal is closing up. This is where one of the demons had the chance to go through the portal, but pretty much gets ripped. The portal pretty much gets ripped in, pretty much get ripped in half. We're gonna say, and Lucifer, she pretty much looking at the demon got ripped in half, saying, "Huh, what is going on?" And before she can look, in the glimpse of her eyes, in her one eye, she sees the Doomslayer, and she sees it's Deku, or pretty much a Doomslayer. She's saying, "It's him." And before she's about to go in the portal and try to get to him, the portal pretty much closes up. And she's saying, "What the hell?" And this is where the necromancer's saying, I'm sorry, my queen, but right now the portal was not stable enough to hold any more things. Which she pretty much gets mad and pretty much saying, "All right, whatever," and begins to go back to her throne. Now we switch back to Deku, and Deku is pretty much grabbing one of the demons, ripping their jaw apart, blowing their brains out and stuff. And this is where one of the demons' pride, we're gonna say one of the demons' pride is pretty much out in the portal, escaped, and we're gonna say he's been one of the locked prisoners in hell. That's very powerful but locked up. He's pretty much saying, "So this is Earth, huh? I like this place." Which this is where Deku pretty much is turning around, and he has his helmet. And he's pretty much wearing, saying, "Huh? You know, I never liked. I was I was perfect. I never liked the demons because they pissed me off so much because they wanted to kill me for no reason. But now I just don't like them. Period. And now I'm gonna kick your ass. You know what? I do better yet. I just rip you to shreds." Which this is where Deku's saying it. This is where Pride's saying, "Huh? You cocky little shit. Then let's come at me then." Now this is where the fight of Pride and Deku commence in the forest. Now Deku pretty much is shooting at Pride, which Pride is taking bullets to. Now, this is where, of course, Pride begins to rush at Deku, and pretty much is punching him in the gut and sending him flying to a couple of trees. This is where Deku have his arm launcher and shoots. We're gonna say two laser beams at Pride, and shooting him in the guts. Now, of course, Pride organs are pretty much melted out. He's pretty much saying, "You think that's all you got?" Which this is where Deku rush at him and grabs his neck and pretty much launches him into a tree. As he's launching him into a tree, this is where he snaps his neck and pretty much grabs his two arm chainsaws, and rips Pride into shreds. Now, as Pride getting ripped to shreds, this is where Pride is reforming back, and Deku begins to, you could say, shoot him with a bunch of bullets and stuff. And he keeps shooting him until he's nothing, into a pile of mush. Now, this is where Deku is saying, "Instead," and begins to walk away. So Pride, we're going to say his power kicks on to Deku and pretty much latch onto him. And Pride power pretty much goes on to Deku, and now Deku has Pride power. As you could say, prideful and pretty much more cocky, but much stronger. You could say super strong. Now, Deku doesn't know it, but he's pretty much saying, I feel better than I ever." Doesn't know that he got Pride's power, but he pretty much goes on. Now he's headed back home. He's pretty much, saying he's home, which Inko sees that he has a little blood cover on him, and she's asking, "Is he okay? What happened?" Which Deku's saying he's fine. He just accidentally was at the meat daily, and they actually did a spilled blood. Which she's saying, "Oh, okay." Now we're gonna get to the entrance exams because we're gonna say the 9 months passed. Now this is where Deku is pretty much going to send entrance exam. Pretty much, you know, just walking and relaxing and stuff. This is where we're gonna say Baku is already ahead, but Deku's pretty much taking his thing. Those portals. I don't know who's doing those portals, but I have to find out. Maybe I might have to go back to stop those portals. I don't want the portals opening and these demons coming on my Earth. As he's thinking that, now this is where the succubus is pretty much flying right beside him and pretty much talking to him, saying, "Hey, Deku-chan, I'm really bored. Can we might be going to some fun place? I heard this Earth has a karaoke. Can we mind going there?" Which this is where Deku's saying, "Why why are you being so annoying to me?" Which she's pretty much saying, "Well, you're the first ever person who ever contained me, so I'm gonna keep being by your side." Which Deku says, "Alright, I take you to karaoke if you leave me the hell alone." Which she pretty much says, "Deal," and begins to fly away and do whatever. Now, this is where Deku goes into interest and pretty much uh let's continue. Pretty much yeah, the succubus go wherever she wants. Now, Deku is pretty much going to interest him, and like I said, his hair is much longer. His eyes is red, like angry red, you could say. Now, as he's going inside, this is where all the students is looking at Deku, and he looks much different. Now, as he's going in, this is where all the boys and girls is looking at him, and he's pretty much looking at them and saying, "What the hell are y'all looking at?" Which they all look forward and pretty much is, terrified because he has that aura, that vibe, and stuff, and also he has that power of pride. Like I said, pride is very a prideful thing. Now, Deku is much cockier because, like I said, kind of buff with the strength, but also a downside. I'll tell you why, but pretty much he goes and sit by Bakugo saying sup, which Bakugo says, "Oh, sup, Deku," and they begin to have a conversation with each other while they're waiting. Now, Bakugo's thinking, saying, "So how you gonna think you can do in the thing? Since you didn't train for these months," which Deku says he's gonna kick ass. Which Bakugo says, "If you say so." Now, this is where, of course, everything for the IQ. We're gonna say Deku. We're gonna say Deku's not that stupid, but he's not 100% intelligent. We're gonna say he kind of aced it in fifth, in the IQ thing. So he's not that dumb, but he's not that intelligent because, like I said, his whole life of, having the quirk and also pacifist of being angry and pissed off. But yeah, pretty much. But he have been studying. So yeah, he's not that dumb, but not that intelligent. He's in the me in the middle. Now, everything else he passes with ease, with the strength and all that stuff. Now, for the robot thing, Deku's pretty much getting prepared and ready and stuff, and he pretty much has his armor and stuff on, which everybody's looking at him and stuff, and looking at him, wearing the Doomslayer armor and all that. Now, this is where the teacher is explaining all the stuff and all that, and all the girls are pretty much checking out the muscles on Deku and stuff, and taking a look at him and other stuff, and Deku's pretty much saying, pretty much not caring and pretty much focus on the task. And this is where he says you have to just destroy robots to get points and stuff in. And he pretty much says, "Are you marked? Get set, go." And everybody start going. Now Deku begins to start going, and he starts to sprout out wings and start to fly. Now he pulls out a rifle gun. Well, you could say not pull out, but summon a rifle gun. Yeah, digitally summon a rifle gun and begins to fire at the robots and stuff. Now, at first, the teachers are about to stop him, but they think, it's a part of his quirk, and also the suit is a part of his quirk too, like some kind of, summon thing, so they let it slide. Now, Deku begins to start firing bullets and stuff, and, summoning two rifles, or digitally summoning two rifles and firing at robots left and right and stuff, and he begins to stomp with robots. This is where he summoned a Hellhound, and the Hellhound helps him out, destroy the robots and left and right. This is where he, thinks he has enough points about to go until the Zero Point Robot comes and Rocket is screaming for help. Now, as she's screaming for help, this is where Deku pretty much is getting pissed off, saying, "How can you get yourself caught under rubble?" And as he's getting angry, he begins to just say, "Whatever," and he pulls out the big gun, the oh shit laser gun, and he shoots it at the Zero Point Robot. Now, when the Zero Point Robot gets hit by it, this is where you hear a pew and a big explosion where it just blows the Zero Robot into pure pieces. Now, as that happened, this is where Deku's walking very close, and he pretty much moves the rubble and pretty much gets her up. And she pretty much is about to try to say thank you until Deku just walks away because he's just frustrated of how you can get stuck under rubble. Now, the next day, Deku pretty much get a acceptance letter saying he passed. Deku is pretty much looking at it and saying, "Huh, cool." And begins to walk. Well, begins to go back to his room and see his rabbit. Now, as he's seeing his rabbit, he's pretty much petting and feeding and stuff, and also just having it on his lap and stuff, and just mostly putting on his headset and just listening to music and stuff while his rabbit's on his lap. Now, as he's thinking, we're gonna say we're gonna switch to Helen. Lucifer, she's pretty much asking Necromancer, does he got all the stuff ready? And he's pretty much saying, yes, my queen, it's almost set. And what she's saying, good, it better be. Now we switch back to Deku, and Deku's pretty much saying, all right. Now we're gonna pretty much skip the next day, and the next day Deku pretty much gets on his uniform and begins to start walking. Well, begins to start going. Now as he's going, he's pretty much walking with Bakugo, and Bakugo's pretty not walking Bakugo. Bakugo's already there, but Deku begins to start walking stuff, and the succubus, she begins to talk to Deku, but this is as she's talking, she begins to say, "I sense pride power from you. Did you kill Pride, or are you his son or something?" Which Deku saying, "No, there was this weird guy who was acting all prideful and shit, and I broke his jaw and hit him." Pretty much talking about how he killed Pride, and she's pretty much saying, "Huh, I think you got his power or his soul." Which Deku saying, "What? What do you mean?" Which the succubus explains, saying there's the seven deadly sins, and they're like prisoners from hell. They was like, you could say, the first kings and queens, and they was powerful. They was very powerful till they was trying to be a rebellious and try to be rebellion and trying to overthrow Lucifer, the archangel, which the succubus explained how Lucifer defeated every single last one of them and pretty much caged them all up, pretty much caging all of them up and putting them all in up to towers and prison cells. Which but she pretty much explains about how lust was pretty much put into a sex slammer. You could say in a sex chamber where all demons and we're gonna say demons and also humans and shit. Pretty much, you could say pretty much raping and butt stuff and all that. Just think of it of the gangbang of every hentai, which you could just think of it like that. That's the cell for lust. Now for greed, he pretty much is put in a prison cell where he been melted into gold, or you could say constantly can melt it into gold and turn into gold and stuff. And for pride, he's pretty much been put in a cell where he has where nothing, no one doesn't recognize him or doesn't parade him or anything. It pretty much like that. And for like gluttony, we're gonna say for gluttony, gluttony, I'm gonna make it different for knowledge, as for like constantly trapped in a library, a maze of libraries filled with knowledge and stuff, and books just everywhere, and make you lose your sanity. So we're gonna say that instead of just being with food and all that crap. But yeah, also food. We're gonna say also food. What the hell? Now, for like all the sins, she pretty much explains of how they all in the cells and what specific cells they are in, and probably thinking that all the sins are pretty much all free and pretty much escaping and probably on Earth right now. Which Deku is pretty much saying, that's just fucking great. Now I have to kill. Now I have to kill some type of kings and queens now. Which this like was saying, huh? Well, if I get any update, I make sure to let you know. And for a change, I get an award from you. Which Deku says, yeah, whatever. And she pretty much says, then we have a deal. And she begins to disappear. Now, as Deku's going to his classroom, he begins to see Bakugo fighting with Idon, and pretty much takes a seat. Pretty much starts, you could say smirking, laughing. Which Bakugo smirking says, "What are you laughing about, Deku?" Which Deku pretty much saying, "I'm sorry, it's just that nerd is trying to put you in your place, and right now, no one gives a shit." Which Idon begins about to say something until everybody else comes in and start introducing themselves. Now everybody starts introducing themselves and stuff, and Deku, he's like I said, has prideful soul, pride, so he's like pride and not afraid to introduce himself and all that stuff, and also a little bit cocky, which is where Uraraka is kind of looking down and thinking like, who's that person who saved her? Which this is where Razorhead gets up and says why everybody is being so loud. And he looks at the whole class. And as he's looking around the whole class, this is where he sees Deku. And Deku, like I said, looks much different. He looks, you could say, more angry. Looks more like angry, but also like he's ready to punch anyone in the face, kind of face way. But he's really cool. But this is where he looks and he says, okay. And he pretty much says, alright, so y'all must be my students. Alright, everybody go to the gym locker rooms and get the gym uniform on and meet me outside. I'm going to test if y'all qualified to be in this classroom, which this is where, of course, Edon says, what, you can't do that, which this is where Razorhead gets more angry and gets a little bit more angry and says, I have disqualified a whole school. Not disqualified, I have expelled the whole class before that wasn't sit to my peak. Now, do you want to be the first person to get expelled? Which, of course, this is where everybody, is terrified. Except for Deku, like I said, pride, cocky, and begins to go in the gym locker room. Now, as Deku's changing, they see Deku with the scars and, with the ripped body and stuff and Baku starts to say, so, as he was in hell, this is what they did to him? I feel bad for him to have to survive like that. And, everybody else is looking saying, damn Deku, what kind of training have you been doing? Which Deku begins to explain, some tough training and stuff, all that. Or you could say some hell training, killing a lot of demons and stuff, which they're pretty much laughing saying, oh, you're a Joker, which they don't actually believe him, but he actually been fighting demons and begin to strengthen muscle and power from that. But pretty much, everybody is going out, and we're gonna switch to the girls' locker room, and we're gonna see what the girls are doing. Basically, the girls are talking about Deku and stuff. They're saying how, the boy, who they're going to ask out on the date and stuff, and make as boyfriend and girlfriend. Which, Uraraka is still thinking. Which they ask Uraraka who she thinks she's gonna date, which she pretty much says, oh, she doesn't know. Which all the girls are saying, you're no fun, which, she started laughing. Now, everybody's outside and stuff, and all prepared and stuff. Deku, especially, is, pretty much waiting and stuff, which all the girls are looking at Deku, checking him out, seeing that he has muscle and stuff, and also scars, saying, wow, he's ripped, because, he has all the abs and all that stuff. Now, for all the tests and stuff, everything goes about the same. But Deku just nails it all first, except for the ball throw, because Uraraka beats him in that. Now, no one gets disqualified or gets, kicked out of school, because we're not going to do that. But eventually we might do that someday, but not now. And everybody's, excited. Now, this is where everybody's in the classroom and talking and all that stuff. And having a conversation. This is where Deku is pretty much talking to Baku and stuff. And this is where everybody's having a conversation, and this is where Deku gets a scent, and we're gonna say it's the demon scent. And he's pretty much saying, "There's a demon in the school? Where?" And this is where Baku is saying, "Are you alright?" Which Deku says, "Yeah, he's alright." And this is where All Might comes in and says, "I am here," which everybody's saying, "Oh my God, it's All Might and stuff." Except for Deku, he doesn't really cares about it. And All Might looks at Deku is saying, so he's the guy with the armor. Now, this is part 2 of What If Deku was Doomslayer. If you like, leave a like, comment, all that stuff. But I'm Keyshawn Chia. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.